Acts of terrorism have been a thing in this country for for okay. Acts of terrorism have been a thing in this country since its existence. Um it's pretty much founded on terrorism, with the whole Native American thing. But I don't need to go into all that, but uh I think there's somewhat, I wouldn't say practical, but I think there's a solution that nobody is really putting on the table. Like we've got these people who are bombing themselves and taking tons of people with them, bombing places, walking into places and shooting just automatic weapons all over the place. And people all, they talk about all the guns, and I don't really see any war on bombs though. That's not a thing. I do see a lot of these, war on guns, get rid of all the guns and all that shit. You know what? In my scenario, you get to keep your gun. No problem. You get to keep your bomb and all that shit. And if you believe in your heart, and when you go and you kill up a whole bunch of people, that you go somewhere and you get a mess load of virgins, what you don't get to do in my scenario is hold on to all of them yourself. Because my solution is, if somebody, I don't give a fuck where they're from, I don't give a fuck what they believe in, I don't give a fuck how they pray, you do some shit, the government doesn't just deal with you. The government kills your entire family. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Okay? I understand. Sounds very extreme, perhaps with a twinge of super villainous. I understand. I get that. But just hear me out. Okay? Here's the deal, right? If we're living off of a live by the sword, die by the sword sort of mentality, right? And you're dealing with people who use fear to get their point across, but they aren't afraid of dying themselves because they think, well, their family's going to be taken care of and all that shit, and they're leaving behind a legacy and people are going to know them and all that and carrying on. But in my scenario, that doesn't fucking happen, because when you hit the button on that bomb, you're basically taking your whole family with you. And of course, this is in a perfect world where people aren't corrupt and wouldn't just like plant bombs on people and try and like fuck around and kill a whole family just because they want to and all that shit. We're acting like that's not a thing here, but I honestly believe if you did it properly, that you'd only have to do it twice. And that's a lot of people. I get it. But it's also a lot of people who die in these mass shootings. It's also a lot of people who die in these bombings. It's a lot of people dead either way, but at least with one, a message is sent. It's like the only way to deal with terrorism is to scare the shit out of terrorists. Like they are basically saying, well, we are going to scare you by bombing your building. Well, if they had to sit down and think about it, like, oh well, if I bomb this building, my family's gonna die. And when I say family, I'm talking about family. I'm talking about wife, kids. I'm talking about grandma. I'm talking about fucking dad, mom, everybody. Not extended, like not second cousins and shit, but everybody. Because see, it has to be big and it has to be public. I'm talking about television, folks. You wheel these motherfuckers in and you let the entire world watch. You put this shit on basic television, not even cable. Fuck cable. Fuck that shit. This is not going on TNT. This is going on CBS. Because fuck that. I don't know though. CBS be having a shitty signal sometimes. Fuck that. NBC. Put this shit on NBC. Have the whole family just line the fuck up. And then you just shoot them in the face. You ain't gotta hang them. We're not trying to scar people. Just shoot them in the fucking face. It can be off camera. That's fine. So long as everybody knows why it is being done. You let a terrorist or two watch that shit. They'll just be like, oh man, they're fucking crazy. And that's how you deal with people who use fear as a form of currency to get what they want. You out crazy them. And is what I'm saying nice? No. Is what I'm saying just? No. There's no justice here. No. But at the same time, I gotta say that it's difficult for me to sit down and try to say that this sort of extreme solution isn't necessary. It feels necessary to me. It feels like something that might deal with the problem, that would be something like everybody would have nightmares from this shit. Everybody involved, except dead ones, but everybody involved would be fucking torn apart. But at the same time, you got to scare these crazy fuckers, and you just have to, you got to freak them the fuck out and intimidate them out of trying to intimidate us. Like I mean, it's terrible. It's a terrible thing to do, but I can't say that it isn't necessary. I wish I could. I wish there were another thing that just like involved lollipops and shit that I could just be like, oh, well, you know, this is the answer. But I can't do that because these fuckers are crazy. They're fucking crazy. Motherfucker shot up a nightclub because he was dealing with his own gay issues and saw a fucking, like, I like to think of nightclubs as just big ass rooms. So he saw a fucking room full of happy gay motherfuckers and was just like, no. Think about if that motherfucker had to be like, well, I hate them, but I don't hate my family. Just that twinge of doubt, I think would be enough to save some lives. That's all I'm saying. Just that twinge, just like, you know, maybe if, you know, because it's there's also the idea that if this were to come about, this would, through the need for self-preservation, it would bring about policing within the family. because I have a hard time believing that the people around these people didn't know there was a little bit of fucked up in them. And when people are fucked up, or when people are dealing with fucked up, it can't be by themselves. Like, if you're genuinely crazy to the point where you're just gonna walk into a fucking nightclub and just spray rounds into motherfuckers, you are not the kind of person who should be left by yourself, in the sense that, like, I know how it is. I know how it is to just see somebody and be like, oh, well, they kind of crazy. Let me go ahead and, stay the fuck on away from them. I get it. But if that motherfucker pulls some shit and pulls some triggers and it was my ass, we finna have a conversation. I'm gonna know this motherfucker straight before I leave them the fuck alone. Before I go home from the fucking family reunion picnic, whatever the fuck. If I see motherfuckers going crazy, motherfuckers say something. And I think that's one of the things. Like, we gonna have motherfuckers cracking down on this shit within their own families. Like, yo, man, no. You ain't about to get me shot, motherfucker. You ain't about to get me shot. It's not gonna happen. I'll take you the fuck out before I let them take me out, because you decided you was gonna walk into a fucking building and just end motherfuckers. Like, no. I'll tell you this. There'd be some shit different in my own damn extended family. If that law passed, there'd be some talking. There'd be some fucking conversations, because there's some motherfuckers where it's just like, if they snap and they did some shit, motherfuckers would act surprised. Motherfuckers wouldn't be surprised. See, motherfuckers be sitting around like, I don't believe, and I'd be in the back behind them looking at their motherfucking performance. Because it would be some fucking bullshit. That's why. No. And everybody fucking knows, but don't nobody want to say nothing. And that bullshit gets on my nerves. Like, when you're in the position where you need to say some shit to a motherfucker, and you have the what is it? I want to say the stroke or the power. When you have the influence over said person to be able to say something and actually penetrate their fucking thick head skull, when you can do that and you don't, whatever they do is partially on you, because you fucking knew. You knew they was on some bullshit, and you just like, well, nah, I'm gonna sweep this up under the rug. Like, no. And I think that a lot of these motherfuckers who go out and just shoot up schools and shit have people in their family that saw them and was just like, I ain't even get my hands dirty with that bullshit. That kid crazy. I'm gonna go on over here and do my taxes. Like, you can't just you can't do that. That whole takes a village shit, it's real. And your village is your fucking family. Like, you gotta fucking talk to people and make sure that they on the level. And if you don't, and they ain't, it's on your ass, and you finna pay. Like I said, I am not justifying this. I'm not trying to make it come off as a thing that is justified or just in any way. No, it is not nice. It is meant as a tactic to scare the shit out of people, to stop them from doing crazy shit. Now, if people would just stop doing crazy shit, then I wouldn't have to fucking come up with shit like this. And I don't even know where this came from. This just hit me in the brain at some point, and I was just like, I need to talk about this. This is the exact sort of weirdo shit that will go on my channel. It is exactly what the fuck I need to say. Oh goodness. So yeah, that was a thing that was bouncing around my head, and I just, when it comes to like mental illness and that sort of thing, like, I know that that's real. I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm not dismissing it. But what I am saying is that I think that a lot of these people need help, and a lot of these people just don't want to get any, because we, the sane, are leaving the insane in control of their fucking actions because they've been on the planet for a little while. You can't do that. You can't fucking do, like, when you fully realize that a person done lost their shit. Okay? And it doesn't take long to realize it. When you realize somebody done lost their shit, you gotta do something. You gotta do something. You can't just let them just do them, because then they just end up fucking doing ridiculous shit to either themselves or others. And I know that there are laws. There are laws that prevent a lot of things that you can do, and it can feel powerless. It can feel as if you are powerless to make any types of changes or anything like that. But just trying, and not giving up on the concept of it is a really good first step. At least you're doing something. You gotta try. You gotta talk to them. You gotta, I want to say drag them into some type of counseling, but sometimes you just can't do that, and I understand. But you gotta try to get them there. You got to. Because these motherfuckers, these are people, like, they're not born in the jungle from fucking tigers and raised to be fucking crazy. Like, that's not who these people are. These people are regular human beings who went through some shit, had enough, and did not feel as if they had another outlet to deal with what they were going through. Okay? We, the sane, need to make sure that the insane people around us understand that they have an outlet. They have people to talk to. They have people that care about them. They have another way out. And if they have all that, and they're aware that they have all that, and they still want to do some shit, well, I'm telling you, I think you'd only have to do it twice. That's all I'm saying. I think that by the time you do the shit twice, motherfuckers will have it in their brain, like, yo, I did just have a child, and I don't need that right there on, like, I think that this method would create some doubt in these fuckers to where they wouldn't do this insane shit and just murder people. And I guess, like, their goal is to just be some type of infamous, like, be important, be somebody to be talked about, I guess. And we need to take that shit away. I saw the other day on Facebook there was a girl who was I think she was killed. You know what? This is really fucked up. This next sentence. She was either killed or she was saved. Both of those sentences actually lead to my same point. But I don't know. Well, not both the sentences. Both of those circumstances. My point when I saw it was, I shouldn't know this because it's none of my fucking business. That sort of thing, I think that the girl was killed, but that sort of thing is none of my fucking business. Who the fuck am I to know that this child was killed? I don't know their family. I don't know them from anybody else in a fucking mall. But I know of this loss that they just suffered. Like, I shouldn't know that. It's not something that should, like, I understand if they say like a criminal, or maybe gave him some type of specific title along those lines, but just said that somebody killed a blank-year-old girl today. That gives me all of the information I need. There are crazy motherfuckers out here killing kids. That's all I need to fucking know. I get that. But for you to fucking, like, they had her face on the shit. I'm like, yo, I should know what the fuck this girl looked like. I shouldn't know who her family is. I shouldn't know none of this shit. Because how fucked up of an introduction is that to a family? Hey, how you doing? I just saw your kid's fucking dead. Like, really? Really? Like, that's not my fucking business. It's not my business. And I think that a lot of people with this sharing bullshit online and on social media, motherfuckers don't understand what ain't they fucking business. Like, I know people who are couples, and I shouldn't fucking know that because it's not my business. I don't give a fuck who these people are fucking because I don't watch them for that. But I know who they're fucking, and I'm like, I kind of wish I didn't because it's none of my fucking business. You know, like I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that idea that just fucking everything is everybody else's business. It just isn't. And I'm not even just talking about who you fucking and all that shit. No. If a motherfucker is walking down the street and loses a nickel, I don't need to fucking know that either. I don't. You know, like, if you want to share like a funny story or some shit, okay, cool. But these ain't funny stories. These people fucking and people dying. I don't need to know all that shit. I don't need to know it. It's not even because of my sensibilities. It's because of me just having respect for motherfuckers. You know? Like, I don't need to know all that about you when I ain't even met your ass. If you were a friend of my family, I would expect for you to tell me why little Diana ain't fucking around anymore. You know? Like, shit. We know you and we know your kid and shit, and then all of a sudden we just don't see her no more. Like, what the fuck? You gonna explain? Kids don't just go away like that without fucking terrible, atrocious reasons. So, you know, but I don't know you. I'm just trying to scroll through Facebook and shit, and I gotta see like all this and like, no, not my fucking business. It ain't like I clicked on the shit. I didn't click on the shit. You know, it's just sitting there like it's fucking news. That's not news. That is not news. Seeing a specific person's face who isn't around anymore is not fucking news unless they were a face that I knew before they fucking died. Robin Williams dying? News. This girl who just existed and nobody fucking knew her except her family and friends and shit? Not fucking news, people. Not fucking news. So, I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of rambling. Rambling, talking about random annoyances. And I understand that. And I know that I'm probably going to be seen as a douche for my solution. And I get that. And I accept that. I embrace that. I'm probably in the minority about, people thinking what's, other people's business. And I understand that too. And I get that too. But at the same time, not to be a dick, but this is my fucking show. This is mine. And I talk about my fucking viewpoints and opinions. Mine. Okay, pardon me for getting a little loud there, but yeah, I just, I had this on my brain, and I keep thinking about it, and maybe, oh no, I'm not even gonna talk that into the universe specifically, so I need to reword this shit so that I don't accidentally say that that's what it is. Okay. There are 2 presidential nominees, right? Okay. Now, if the one that doesn't have a snatch box I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just thought of just the most the most inappropriate. I tried to think of the most inappropriate way to say vagina, and snatch box just came into my face and I couldn't even get through it. But if that one who has the vagina is unfortunate in the elections, right? Then maybe whomever is in that position of being lucky, or fortunate, I should say, maybe that could be their stance, which turns out to be their legacy before they get assassinated. Like, maybe that could be what that is. I don't know. I think it'd be kind of interesting. It'd make a hell of a footnote on history. We haven't had a presidential assassination in quite a while. I mean, I'm not saying we're due or anything. I'm just saying, like, if I were a betting man, I would have bet that Obama, year 3, just get capped in the middle of the fucking road somewhere. Like, I knew in my heart of hearts, I'm like, y'all are celebrating. Y'all gonna be mad as fuck. There gonna be people in the streets fucking angry and marching and shit. Shit's going down because you know damn well there's too many angry motherfuckers in this country that a brown human is about to walk up and accept this shit. Like, there's no fucking, but thankfully, the blessing that is Obama has survived through his entire presidency up to this point. Let me not jinx the man, but my thing is just, I'm not, I'm not trying to speak anything into existence. I'm just saying it's been a while, and if certain things occur, you know, I don't know. I'm talking about some crazy shit on this one, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Because I don't need to be talking about all this shit. This is heavy and weighty, and I ain't shut the fuck up. So thank you for listening and joining me in this mental ride that I've been on. I'm gonna come up with some shit that ain't about like murder and all that. I'm going to. I just damn, I wish that I could come up with another way to deal with this shit, because as long as it's been happening, anybody else came up with nothing. And I think it's because we're restraining ourselves. We're like, well, you can't just fucking kill a mess of people. That's fucking ridiculous. How ridiculous? Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go. Thanks again. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you next episode. Take care of yourselves. And really take care of the people who you know fucking need it. Just take care of them.